H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
You can write a for loop, or you can write a I got an answer from Sandhya. So for each where E in employees, I can write like this: console.writeLine E dot emp name, and I can write console.readLine. So I can execute this. So what I am written here, I wrote a for each loop where E in employees, and then I wrote console.writeLine E dot employee name. So if you run this, you can see that I will be seeing 3 employees, Meghnad, Bharat and Ravi. So this is using for each loop. So can anyone tell me how to do it using for loop, not with for each loop? How to do with for loop? Yeah, anyone wants to tell that, please tell me. I'll unmute you. Anyone wants to go ahead with a for loop instead of for each loop? So basically, how many times I need to loop through the for loop? How many times I need to loop through for loop here?
3 times.
3 times. Yeah, you're right. So how do I know there are 3 employees? So basically what I need to do here is I need to write for int I is equal to 0, I less than I less than what I need, I less than we should not write 3 here, because this should work even if I add another employee. Say for example, I'll write like this: new employee. If I do 3, this will fail. So new employee, I'll put here emp name is equal to Sharath, and then comma emp age is equal to 32. So what I need to do here, for int I equal to 0, I less than employees dot count and I plus plus. So now what I can do here, I can write here console.writeLine and employees of, you can access this index I dot emp name. So this is how you can actually do using a for loop. So what we are doing here, for I is equal to 0, I less than employees dot count. So what will be the value of employees dot count? Employees dot count will be 4, because you have 4 employees. But the index of array or collection, the index starts from 0. So that is the reason why we gave for int I is equal to 0 to I less than employees dot count I plus plus. So that's how we are getting this here. Okay, now if you want to add from the database, we have to see, I'll tell how to add this from database. We are yet to discuss one topic here. We are going to discuss on data reader. Data reader topic is still pending. So when I am telling data reader, I'll tell how to add these values from database. Okay, so now, so we have few more topics pending around. We can complete it in 3 hours maybe maximum. So we'll see how it goes now. Okay, now we will discuss on, is it clear now how to write using for each loop and for loop? All of you, is it clear? For loop and for each loop? Yeah. Now we will try to do using lambda expression. So lambda expression is also very clear, very easy. So what I need to do is employees is the for each f goes to console dot write line f dot emp name. That's all. Whatever you wrote this in, whatever you wrote it in two lines here, you wrote it in a single line here. So employees and every employee, so we wrote here for each. For each, f is like a single element there, single employee in employees. So for every employee, for each employee, or you can put here emp. If you have confusion here putting f, you can put here emp. So for each employee, we are just putting console.writeLine employee.emp name. So if I run this, so let me put here console.writeLine using for each loop. Okay, and here I'll put I'll give some console.writeLine. I'll give some slash n. So let me give some lines of gap. So after this, I'll copy this. I'll put here. So this is using what? This is using for loop. Console.writeLine. I'm writing here using for loop. Okay, this is important. So you should know all the different ways of writing it. So and then what we tried? Console.writeLine using lambda expression. Okay, and now we will try using LINQ. So here I'm going to write console.writeLine /n/n/n. Now we will see about using. So now LINQ is nothing but you normally write a query. How do you write it? LINQ stands for language integrated query. So you normally write a query. How you write it in SQL Server. So anyway, before that, let's run this and see whether we are getting the same output in all the three cases. So let me run this. So here I got Ravi and Sharath. So where did I got Ravi and Sharath? So any guesses why in the first for each loop I got only is it using for each loop? Yeah. So using for each loop I got only what could be the reason? Using for each loop, using for loop. Okay, let me run this. So using for, where is this using for each loop? Okay, actually it came actually, but it went down like this. It was like this. So it scrolled down a little bit. So basically there is nothing wrong in the code. So if I run this, see here, I'm just running this code and it went down. So let me pull this down. Let me pull up. So now you can see using for each loop I'm getting Meghnad, Bharat, Ravi and Sharath. Using for loop I'm getting the same. Using lambda also I'm getting the same. So now let's try to understand how we can do it using LINQ. So as I already told, whenever you're writing a LINQ, just one thing you have to recollect is you need to write here from where select. So don't think like how do you write in SQL Server. So let me comment this. SQL Server you write like select star from where, like that you write. So in SQL Server traditionally how do you write? Select star from employee where emp id equal to 1. Like this you write. So first you are writing select and then you're writing from, you're writing where. But here in LINQ, first you have to write from, then you have to write where, then you have to write select. So let's try to do it. So what I need now is, so let me add some filters instead of just printing. So now let's try to work on different thing. Using for each loop, if I ask you to print the names of employees whose age is greater than 30, I mean whose age is less than 30, how to modify this? Let's not print exact collection, so we'll add some filters. So I want to print employees whose age is less than 30. So what I'll do here, using for each loop, I'll write here if e dot emp age less than 30. Okay, so if it is less than 30, then only I'm printing here. The same condition will apply here. If e dot if employee of I dot emp age less than 30. So I'm adding this condition. Now similarly in lambda expression, what I need to do here, dot where emp goes to emp dot age less than 30 dot toList. Okay, so this is how you need to write in. First what we are doing, we are writing a where condition where employee dot employee age less than 30. So what we are doing, we are converting this to a list. So this up to here, so now up to here this will have the employees whose age is less than 30. Now what I'm doing from this list, for each I'm printing that employee again, employee name. So this is how you do it in using lambda expression. So since we need to do where condition, we have to write where employee goes to employee dot age less than 30. So first we filtered and then we are printing each line. Okay, we filtered first using where condition and then converted to toList, and then for each this we are printing. So let me run this and see whether we get we only should get now Bharat and Ravi, only these two are having age less than 30. So let me run this. So for each loop, for loop and lambda expression, we are getting all the cases Bharat and Ravi. So now let's try to do it using LINQ. So now as I already said, you have to use from where select. So where result equal to from emp in. I'll tell you what is emp. From emp in what? In employees. In employees from where, what is the condition? Emp dot emp age greater than or emp age less than 30, and then select emp. So from select emp. So this is how you have to write a LINQ, simple LINQ query. So here we are using emp like this, and here you have to use emp like this. So you have to select in employees. From this employees, you have to select an employee. How that employee should be? That employee should be, age should be less than 30. So you are giving this condition. So you have to select employees whose age is less than 30, and you have to select that employee. So this will give you this result will have the list of employees whose age is less than 30. Now you have to print that. So for printing again, you have to write for each where e in result, and you can write here console.writeLine e dot emp name. That's all. So this is how you have to write a LINQ query. From emp is a variable similar to this. In employees, in this employees is having all the employees. You have to take only those employees whose age is less than 30, and you have to select that employees. So this result will have only those employees whose age is less than 30, and we are printing this using for each loop. So this is how you write a LINQ query. From where select. Don't get confused. Don't write select star from. From where select is the general syntax which you have to do when you're writing your LINQ queries. So let me run this. So let me add a comment here using LINQ.